Today we're going to discuss how do you budget for a video production project. Now there's two sides to this coin. The first side is the production company. And what's the second side, Hector?
And the second side is the client's point of view. Now, here's the thing. If you are looking to develop an online course, video and content is super important, which is why in our free masterclass we talk about that, and you'll also learn how to develop a course in 90 days or less and save $10,000 or more in the process. Go check it out, it's linked below.
Linked right below the video. So let's dive in. So from the production company's perspective, how do we budget for a video production project? Well, the first thing is figuring out what kind of equipment you need. Now, we like to have what we call straightforward pricing when we're serving the clients. So we're not necessarily going to nickel and dime the clients based on the equipment we need. So when we're talking about equipment, we're talking about what is the most valuable equipment for your dollar that you should purchase so you can serve the client. Does this mean that you should go buy a $50,000 red camera? Not necessarily. Are you producing the next Lord of the Rings or Avatar? No, okay, then you don't need a fancy piece of equipment. So what we're talking about is have equipment that is value-based. And guess what? You can get a Blackmagic 6K Pro for $2,500. And then you can put a $500 lens on that. That's a $3,000 camera setup instead of a $50,000 setup. So that's the first thing. What's the second thing, Hector?
The second thing is people. The people that you're gonna need in order to get this done. Again, one of the biggest things that we see, and we have seen over our many years of experience, is how much money is wasted on people. Don't get us wrong. We're all about employing. We're all about getting as many people involved. However, we've seen so many projects where all you needed was 1 or 2 people, but there was like 10. And that just drives up the cost. So from a people's perspective, what do you need to get the project done? Stay lean, because that also keeps you efficient.
And yet again, unless you're producing the next Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, you don't need 100 people at your film shoot. As Hector said, you really are only gonna need 2. So we recommend having 2 people at your shoot. That is the most valuable setup you can have for your clients, because first of all, you don't have to charge them all these extra costs because you have a gaffer, you have a camera assistant, you have a cinematographer, you have a director, you have a producer. You don't need all that. Really, all you need is someone watching the camera and the sound, and someone else just making sure that everything's going smoothly and taking notes. That can also just be 1 person, but 2 people is the ideal setup for this, because then you can have someone to help set up lighting. If you're using a studio, obviously it's gonna be a lot easier because everything's already gonna be set up there, but 2 people is the most valuable way to do this. The third and final thing you need to consider when budgeting for your video production project is what, Hector?
Is hours. Now, hours is broken up into 3 separate categories. You have pre-production, you have production, and you also have post-production. Pre-production is all the hours that you need to take in order for you to get ready for the actual shoot. Production is the hours spent on set, if you will, capturing the production, capturing all the content that you need, and then post-production is all the hours involved in editing, talking with your client, getting feedback, integrating that feedback. 3 separate categories on hours based. Now, Johnny and I, because we're an e-learning company, and when this comes to e-learning and for our premium e-learning video services, we don't nickel and dime and get all crazy about this. We have figured out how to streamline this. But as a production company, if you're looking to create a video, this is typically what is going on.
And people usually get into trouble when they're thinking about pre-production. So what happens is when people are budgeting for a project, it's easy to be like, okay, well, for production, we're actually gonna have the client come into the studio, or we're gonna go to the client's site and we're going to record. So that's really easy to really calculate those hours. Keep in mind, the hours to and from the production site should also be calculated when you're budgeting for these projects. That's why we prefer people to come to our studio. It's a lot cheaper for us and a lot more valuable for our clients because it's a lot more professional space. Now, when we're talking about pre-production is everything that happens getting ready for the shoot. And so many times people forget a budget hours into the project, and then you go to the client and you piss them off because you're asking for more money. Post-production as well, you got to be really careful because clients may want tons and tons of edits. So you need to have a streamlined editing process in order to handle that. So what you can do is you could nickel and dime and charge clients line item after line item after line item, or you can just build it into your cost and really figure out what is the most valuable price that you can give to your clients that allows them to really understand what they're getting for what they're paying, because they don't really care what camera you're using.
All right, team, that is awesome. Thank you, Johnny. So that we talked about from the production company's point of view. Now let's talk about the client's point of view. So the first thing, if you're a client and you are looking for production, the first thing that you have to do is you have to figure out what type of video production do you need, Johnny?
Exactly. So different types of video production are going to cost vastly differently. For example, a 90-second commercial or a 30-second commercial could be $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. It could also be $2,000 or $5,000. It really depends on what kind of company you're talking to. But the point is, a marketing video is going to be a lot more expensive than a training video or than a YouTube video, or at least it should be priced more expensively than a training video or a YouTube video. A training video, on the other hand, is going to be a lot less expensive as long as you're working with a company that actually has a process of how to build out training videos at scale. If you're not, then you're probably going to see similar price tags as what you would see for a marketing video. But training videos should really only be purchased by the hour, because when you're looking at training video, you don't just need one 30-second video, you're going to need dozens upon dozens of training videos, if not hundreds of training videos, depending how big your program is. Now, what we usually see is companies usually need somewhere in the 3 to 5 hour range when you're talking about building training videos for a program. Well, you don't want to pay $25,000 per 90 seconds if you're buying a 5-hour training video. Yeah,
don't
do that. So what you want to do is find a company that has very affordable rates when it comes to video production when you're building out training videos, because you're going to build out a lot of them.
Which is a beautiful transition to the second thing that you need to think of from the client's perspective, which is
straightforward pricing.
Oh.
Yet again, unless you are a film geek or if you worked in video production before, you're not going to really understand, why do I have 7 different line items for lighting? Why are there all these different audio things? Why am I paying for this camera? Why am I paying for 2 cameras, 3 cameras, 4 cameras? It doesn't really matter. What you want, all you care about, is an end product that has a learner engagement rate, or if you're looking at marketing videos, that has a watch time of 70, 80, or 90%. You don't want to hire out a company and have your learners or your customers only watch 20 to 30% of your video. You want to work with a company that knows how to get learner retention rates higher, engagement rates higher, customer retention rates higher. You want people to watch your videos from start to finish. You don't care how many cameras it takes to do that. You just want to know, okay, I'm buying this much content, this is how much it is per hour or per minute of content, then you can budget it. You don't really care if they have a red camera or whatever. You just want what the result you get from that video production. Doesn't really matter how you get there as long as it's legal.
Which brings us to our third point, where it should be as easy as calculating it as this, which is the amount of videos that you want to create times the dollar per those videos equals the amount of dollars. It should be very, very straightforward. Johnny and I, for example, with our premium e-learning video service, we charge per hour. Right? Now, that's broken up into micro-learning. That's not one 60-minute video, but 60 minutes of produced, finished video content, right? So we can easily sit down with our clients and say, hey, are you building a 2-hour program, a 5-hour program, a 30-hour program? However many hours it is, we can easily calculate it with everything included, without any other additional things. Or if we want to do this, it's going to be this much. If we're going to have to do this, it's going to be that much. It is all included in one price, and it is simple to follow.
Exactly. Now, if you are still getting ready to build training content. We have a free masterclass for you, how to develop and launch an e-learning program in 90 days or less. Check that out in the link below. And if you like this light board, we got a link on how to do that below as well. Thank you for the likes.
And subscribes.